There's Dylan Brooks and Buddy Hield. Second time they have met. First time, as we mentioned, in the first Final Four. That was in Treasure Island, California. They then played a game in 1940. I don't know. Somebody got angry at somebody.
The repeat, huh?
Yeah. And so here they are. A trip to the Final Four in the autumn. Ryan Spangler a little anxious. Well, that's why.
Well, and I would say, Vern, right off the bat, whether the nerves play a factor in this game for the first minute or two, it'll be interesting to see. But the Ducks come right out this matchup defense, and they're going to try to switch as much as possible on the perimeter defensively. A lot of times, mobs come into play for both of these teams.
Mike Eads, Tony Padilla, and Ray Notley are the officiating crew. They find underneath Kadeem Latin for the first basket of the ball game.
Right off the bat, Oklahoma goes towards the basket, putting it on the floor for the dish off.
Casey Benson. Now it's outside to Brooks. Beautiful. Boy, that was a long stride in the middle of that trip to the basket.
And a legal one, too. So interesting enough, both teams showing a little bit. That's once again 1-2-2 trap. Kick.
Hield, he's unconscious from there. 46% from three-point range, and that was well outside the three-point line.
And for more than any other guy I've seen in the last 10 years in college basketball, he tracks the three-point line.
Well, the answer's pretty quickly given. Elgin Cook with a three.
Cook played very well in the last game. 6 of 8 from the floor.
Well, they tried the alley-oop. It's on the floor. And Kadeem Latin gets his second basket.
Yeah, that's what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to find the seams in that matchup defense and then go over the top of it. Watch for Oregon. They do the same thing with lobs, right?
Casey Benson had a couple of big threes the other night. He only averages 6 points per game.
I thought he played great.
Elgin Cook not there. Rebound from Shea. And a fresh 30 on the shot clock. Back to Benson. He leads Division I in assist-to-turnover ratio, 4.8 to 1, almost 5 to 1. Here's Cook. Boucher let it go right through his hands.
So you mentioned it. What Brooks tries to do, he tries to get his shoulders by you out on the perimeter to finish. And look at Hield. Boy, does he ever track the three-point line, and he has unbelievable range like you just touched on, Vern.
Here's Woodard. Had a terrific game in the win the other night.
See, this matchup is a man-to-man until a guy cuts away.
Woodard.
Notice where Hield is.
Yes, I do.
Notice where the ball went.
Yes, I did.
Thank you. I thought I was beginning to see things early here. If you haven't seen Buddy Hield, that's his game. He loves that three-point line. He loves to drive to the basket. The mid-range game, not that great.
A little bit of a weave. Dylan Brooks. Travel. Let's take another look at Buddy Hield.
One of the other things to look for on the left, see that big right foot that steps across the line. Very, very good at coming back to get his feet behind the line, but he loves the left corner.
Someone told us that at a recent road game, they got off the bus. He headed immediately for the arena, and they said, let's count how many shots he takes before the rest of the team gets out here.
He's just a workaholic, really, when it comes to basketball.
25 shots, and then the rest of the team showed up. Cook. Good.
Cook is an interesting guy. First team all-league for Oregon. And really, in the tournament, played very well as the outstanding player in the Pac-12 tournament. Spangler's the guy who's going to be important here, too.
There's Hield with the putback.
Nice read by Buddy Hield. That's because Spangler goes one-on-one. I think they're going to force Spangler to shoot the basketball from the perimeter also as this game progresses.
12-7. Pace about what you expected?
So far, yeah. Both of these teams, Bernie, they average about 80 points. You don't change things. You just play and go with what you do well.
Nice box out there by Boucher. Good news for Oregon. He was recently granted an extra year. They appealed his senior status to the NCAA, and so he is now a junior. Back outside, Benson. Quick pickup. No. Boucher, it goes off his hand. It will be Oklahoma ball.
So Buddy Hield off to a quick start with 8 points. He's got 2 of them from the outside. And how about a little bit following up of this shot down deep? Nobody blocks him out. It's an easy 2 for Buddy.
Dillon Brooks is a sophomore star for this Oregon team, involved in a controversial ending to the Duke game the other night. With 2 seconds left in the shot clock, 10 in the game, he took a long 3 and then celebrated. So much so that Grayson Allen rejected Brooks' attempt to hug him. And later in the handshake line, Mike Krzyzewski said something to Dillon Brooks. It's been confirmed now that he said, "You're too good a player, you don't need to showboat." Earlier today, Mike Krzyzewski, who had denied saying that, called Dana Altman and apologized to Oregon and to Dillon Brooks, and he said, "I didn't mean to take away from the ending of a great team and a great game."
Yeah, and I think the reaction by Coach K was the correct one, because I think, Vern, is an unwritten rule. Don't coach my players and I won't coach yours. But the main thing is that Brooks has forgotten about it in terms of moving on to this game and has maybe learned a lesson from a pretty decent coach.
Yeah. 7 on the shot clock. There's Casey Benson with the steal. No numbers, so he'll come back. Now Boucher was flashing in the lane. Here's Dorsey. Off the mark, tipped. Oklahoma rebounds. Isaiah Cousin, a senior. Buddy Hield. Oh, that's 3 threes already.
Vern, I know they came in, the Ducks did, knowing that Hield could shoot the basketball. The first one, the one that he let go from about 5 feet beyond the line, I don't think they thought he would be shooting it that long.
There's Casey Benson attempting a 3.
What Buddy Hield just showed me is that you give him a fraction and he's going to take it.
Bratton tips it out. Yes, Cousins to Hield. They used to arrive at the arena at 6 o'clock in the morning, these two, and shoot hour after hour after hour. So much so that Cousins was sleeping in the locker room, and they said, "No, you can't do that." 2-on-1. Benson, Hield's back. And Casey Benson altered the shot just enough.
Yes, he sure did. And Boucher stayed away from that as it came out onto the rim. So there's no call on the offensive interference, which is a good play by him, but Benson just sticking his way down the floor.
Little pick and roll. Nice acrobatic move by Ryan Spangler, the senior.
And to avoid any collision going to the basket, Vern, to avoid a charge.
Boucher, he can hit that shot.
He is an interesting guy. You touched on it before. 6'10", 200. He blocks a lot of shots, but one of the few guys at that size who really is a threat from the 3. Shoots it at 35%.
Foul before the shot by Kadeem Latin. Watch live games on your computer, phone, tablet, or streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Watch now at ncaa.com/March Madness or download the app today. I know it will surprise those who know me well, like you, but I watched the ending of the Texas A&M Northern Iowa game on my app.
Telling you are really starting to show off now.
Twitter's next. Watch out. Dwayne Benjamin is off the bench, one of 2 seniors for the Ducks. Back outside. This is Woodard. Benson defending. Whoa, wow.
Yep, that's Bell. That's what he does. He makes a living doing that, just waiting for people.
Jordan Bell off the bench. Oh, and he's hit and goes down hard.
And hit on the left side, too. Bell is terrific, Vern, coming in. If you play man up, first guy Benson right there has got him, and then Bell is a secondary shot blocker who comes in.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. I got to slap myself.
Jordan Bell, he was a big factor in their win the other night. Shot blocker, scored a lot. And he's from Long Beach, so he's got a lot of family here.
come you said shot blocker easier than I did?
I practice. Scares me to death. Watch Masters live on CBSSports.com for exclusive video of Amen Corner 15 and 16, featured groups plus highlights and analysis. Watch live on CBSSports.com and Masters.com. Spangler, Woodard are out. Christian James is on, so is Dante Buford for Oklahoma. Nope. Oh, dear.
Vern, I mentioned before, and I really misspoke actually when I said Hield is outside in terms of the threes. He drives to the basket. I said his middle range game wasn't that great. It is, but he just doesn't use it much.
How about that block? Hello, Oregon Ducks. Timeout, Oregon Ducks. Block, Jordan Bell.
Well, he's their career leader in blocking shots, and he's showing you what he did against Duke, and he's showing you right now what he's going to do against Oklahoma.
4 teams, 1 feeling. Coca-Cola and the NCAA team up to refresh the Final Four.
Suggest that these people get to their seats too, Vern, because they just missed 2 spectacular blocks by Bell.
Buddy Hield picks up Casey Benson. Elgin Cook, spin move. Look at Hield defensively. And around the trap. Yep.
The rest of the shooters right there.
On the line, that's another Oregon turnover. That's 3. Now, who will they credit that? They can't credit that to Casey Benson, can they?
So it's Hield one-on-one out front, Vern, but look at all the other shirts, as you touched on. They all start to squeeze or condense the floor, meaning they're going to be in there waiting for any kind of driving action, because that's what the Ducks do very, very well.
That turnover was not given to Casey Benson. He's got 25 for the year. Had a chance to chat with him the other night. I said, they gave you a turnover in this game. It must have been a misprint.
He doesn't turn him over very often.
No. Hield, look at this. First miss. How about the putback from Dante Buford, a freshman out of Greenville, South Carolina.
Well, if the Ducks are going to leave the middle of the floor to go track Hield down, at least 2 guys broke down defensively there. There's going to be plenty of seams to go and get offensive rebounds.
Dylan Brooks back outside to Benjamin. Not there. And off of Dylan Brooks. 19-13. Oklahoma up by 6. Buddy Hield off to a terrific start.
He has the range. We've touched on it already, but I love the fact that he has the ability not only to step away and shoot the basketball. Here he finishes off. But Vern, he has a slight fall away too when he steps back, and he still has the strength to go up high enough to make it. Very rare in college basketball for a guy to be able to do that.
This is Christian James in his freshman year out of Houston, Bel Air. Hield goes left. There comes Brooks, and the pass taken by Tyler Dorsey, freshman from this area. He's from Pasadena. I said from this area. Pasadena is about 2 hours away, just because of traffic. Wow, Benjamin, the senior, lost control of it. 4 turnovers. Field goals 50% and 5 of 11. And Oklahoma doing a great job on the board so far.
Both of these teams shot 50% just about in their last game out. So scoring generally isn't the problem. It's just a matter of who's going to shut one another down more effectively and efficiently.
Hield. Now they've got Benjamin on him. He takes a floater and misses.
They're extending that defense out because of Hield and the shooters on the floor for Oklahoma. They're going to have lanes going to the basket. Watch for a dunk off the dribble in the middle of the lane.
Brooks lost it. Another turnover. This is Woodard for Oklahoma. He's going to take it all the way. And then Dish for the basket.
Buford has given him nice minutes early on. 4 points, 2 of 3, running the floor. Good transition opportunity for Oklahoma. Ducks have 5 turnovers already.
This is Elgin Cook, guarded by Hield, and he turned, and guess who was there? Buford, straight up defense. And here comes Woodard for Oklahoma. He thought about it.
Yep, he sure did.
Hield might do more than just think about it.
Hield, you're right. I was thinking the same thing.
Tip, no. Saved. James is open.
That's a jump ball.
Hill ball, possession arrow goes to Oregon.
But we are seeing Oklahoma go after the basketball, Vernon. You know what's happening consistently is the fact that when they're cutting and sliding through the lane, even though this one gets held, when you go through the lane, Oregon has to react with 1 or 2 guys, and then they're having trouble finding a guy to block out.
Now let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Vernon, Jim, Coach Altman has been furious because his team is giving up those offensive rebounds. He keeps holding up the number of points that Oklahoma has scored off of second chance opportunities, which is up to 6 at this point. They could be winning this ball game if it weren't for those moments, and each timeout he's been really emphasizing the rebound.
Thanks, Allie. That one's tipped. Woodard has it for the Sooners. This is James. And Cook is there to alter the shot. Tyler Dorsey for the Ducks. 3 men back for Oklahoma. Good defense. How about Woodard?
Allie, I'll tell you another thing he's going to be concerned with is the way he's turning the basketball over. It's offensive rebounds and transition here. They get the block against the glass, and they are just not they're having some trouble with the Ducks turning it over for a 7th time. So that's going to be another thing at the top of the offensive rebounds that he's going to be annoyed with.
Cousins. Back to James, senior to freshman.
She had her own dribbling it, undribbling up. They keep the Ducks moving.
Spot up 3, Woodard, yes. By the way, Buddy Hield is on the bench, getting a rest and leading the cheers. Largest lead, it's double digits.
How about the Sooners just one after another dribbling the ball into the teeth of the defense, and that's not an adjustment, that's how they play.
Benson back on the floor for Oregon. Bell. So far, Dana Altman's Oregon team being out-hustled by this aggressive Oklahoma Sooner team.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Buick, 7-Eleven, USAA, and by Allstate.
Your teams, your highlights, your scores, all in one place. Download Team Stream, the free app from Bleacher Report, now. Dana Altman, his team struggling right now. They've been scoreless the last 4 minutes and 6 seconds. And Buddy Hield is back on the floor. I think he just got the foul. Well, the Infinity Coaches Spotlight, let's feature Dana Altman. He was hired as an assistant under Lon Kruger at Kansas State, then became the head coach there. 16 years at Creighton. He's now in his 6th season as the head coach in Eugene. And he and Lon Kruger have a relationship that will outlast this game, as we've mentioned. They lost in the Elite 8 to Kansas. That was in Pontiac Silverdome, and Tommy Heinsohn and I did that game. Kansas went on to win with Danny Manning that year. Some guy named Larry Brown was the coach.
Yeah. Those are familiar names, huh?
Yeah. Spangler back outside.
So far, Oklahoma has not had a whole lot of trouble with the defense that Oregon has thrown at them. And that's not surprising. They average 80 a game, and they've seen a lot of different defenses in the Big 12 this year.
This is Benson on Cousins. 6 on the shot clock. Woodard, 3 on the shot clock. Why not? Why not?
Well, he looked over his shoulder at the bench also over there at Oregon and said, take that.
Here's Casey Benson. That one more far, but the rebound is there. Chris Boucher.
That's what they need to do. They need to hit the offensive glass. Benson takes that shot, not that often, even though, as you touched on the other night, he made 2 good shots. It's big shots for them. More of a point guard that passes. We need some activity on the offensive glass and slashing rather than does.
Cousins guarded by Benson. Now this is Woodard. Good defense by Jordan Bell. And he leaned in and got it for 3. Heads up play.
So here's Woodard sizing it up. He was 8 of 11 from the floor against Texas A&M, 5 for 6 from long range. And here comes Boucher off the offensive glass for Oregon.
3 shots for Woodard. 82% free throw shooter.
With the offensive glass, 6 of them already for Oklahoma. Allie reported that the Oregon bench is getting a little nasty over there. If they don't block out a little bit better and stop turning it over, I would suggest that Allie head to the other bench for a report. It's going to get louder and louder over there.
Now Jamuni McNeese, number 4, sits down. And Woodard has a free throw to shoot. Well, he used all of the rim for that one. 6:29 to go in the game and a 13-point Oklahoma lead, largest margin in the game.
Oregon scored 36 points against Duke at the half, and they had 46 in the second half. They've been stymied with only 17 right now.
Elgin Cook had a foul called underneath. See if they got Latin with this one.
I'm not sure if they got Woodard on that or not. We have Woodard in the stat sheets here for 2. And I believe it was him, so that's a big foul.
And Woodard gets a nice hand as he heads out.
Minutes that Lon Kruger really doesn't want to bring him out of the game at this particular point. 2 fouls indicates that he has to make that judgment with 6 minutes left.
James and Cousins, Buddy Hield, Latin, and Spangler. The 5 on the floor for Oklahoma. Nice defense.
Look up, you get a layup.
Got him.
Yep.
He found him. 2 for Oregon.
Good call, Vern, and a good look, wasn't it? In traffic, Buddy Hield was doing his best to stop a 2-on-1 break right at half court. Nice work by the Ducks closing in on him.
Single digits now. Pick and roll. And the finish from Spangler.
And Latin better make sure he stops on a dime like he just did. He stopped perfectly, no charge, and then you can do a little 2-on-1 action underneath the basket.
At the other end, the other 24, that's Dylan Brooks. And he missed badly, wide right. Cousins.
So here's that close. They're going to come out double team, and it's just a simple pass up the floor. Cook finishes it off. And then watch this little 2-man action here. Get the 2 guys in the middle of the floor, 5 feet away from one another, and you just make sure you don't run over somebody for a charge on that play.
Skip pass that almost skipped over Cousins' head.
So much attention to Buddy Hield on the floor that these other 4 guys can just really play in their comfort zone.
Spin move, Cousins. Nice touch pass, Latin 2. That was really pretty.
And who hasn't touched the ball in that possession? Buddy Hield never touched it.
That was Christian James, who had a touch pass into the corner to Latin. That was freshman to freshman. Benson. From the corner, Boucher. Nope. Cousins, Oklahoma, they'll run.
Good. Watch for the spot up threes.
Buddy Hield.
Bang. Hello, Sooner basketball. That's what they like to do. These guys just find real estate, and it stops before the three-point line, and they look for it on their fast break, and they take it and fly with it.
Buddy Hield, 14 points, 4 of 5 on threes. Coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Basketball Championship Regional Finals begins tomorrow at 1 o'clock on ESPN. For more information on game times and listings, go to ncaa.com.
I'm a big, obviously, Buddy Hield fan, but this team on the offensive end, much more than just 10.
Yes, they are. And
wet spots, moisture on the floor.
yeah, looks like it. Christian James.
Simple slip cut to the basket, too, wasn't it?
Now let's do the mop-up duty here. Spangler, Cousins, Hield on the floor. Woodard sits for the 2 fouls.
Next 4 minutes, Oregon's just trying to chip away here. You can't get back with one possession. Just get a couple of stops. Get some rhythm at the defensive end of the floor.
Benson hit the rim. Benson at the other end. Foul. A week from today, March Madness rolls on to Houston with the Final Four. And next Monday, April 4th, the championship game. Both on TBS. That was a foul on Buddy Hield. He's pleading for amnesty. He's not getting it.
You generally don't get those.
No. Brooke is a 76% free throw shooter.
Played very, very well against Duke, also with 16 points.
1 of 2. I know he's been quiet. I'm just looking at Tyler Dorsey, number 5. Big factor throughout the year and in the Pac-12 tournament, but in the 2 games here, haven't mentioned his name very often. So he's 0 for 2 and no points.
You know who else you haven't mentioned a whole lot is Brooks at the offensive end, too.
You're right. Now, Cook guards Hield. We have mentioned him occasionally.
Yes.
James. That was Boucher who came at him. 2 on the shot clock. Turnover Oregon.
That's their best set defensively just then.
Dorsey draws the foul. I believe he was inside the line.
Yeah, might have been one foot that slid up.
What do you think?
Yeah, I'm thinking that right foot slid up. It's a natural tendency for a right-handed shooter. You park that left foot on the ground. That's basically your base leg, and then your right foot just slides up a little bit.
Well, timeout has been taken, and they are reviewing this now, whether it's 3 free throws or 2.
Yeah, you have to look right through Cousins there, but when you look at that, you can see his underneath. There's the foot.
Yeah.
Good catch. Good work in the truck to get that one right here, and I'm sure the officials will make the same exact call. There's that step across, but that's a new rule, too, by the way, Vern. This year, if you fake and get a guy up and he's not in your path, you can't go search him out left to right. Remember a guy named Lloyd Free, World Be Free, was the best in the world at doing that at one time. But you're not allowed to do that. That'll go against the offensive player, but that was a legitimate call and a good call from the officials.
Here's Tyler Dorsey. And he'll shoot one more. His mom has Greek citizenship. She was born in Athens and lived there until she was 3. And so shortly after high school last year, he applied for and was given a Greek passport, and he represented the Greek under-19 team. Among the highlights of his appearance on the island of Crete, there's a steal almost. He scored 23 against the U.S. team. Hield. Latin. Tipped out. James. Oh, brother.
That's how you get the open shots, though. Sometimes the best look you're going to get is off a broken play or a tip out like that. Cousins has been pretty quiet here in Anaheim in the 2 games scoring-wise. Nice step it. Just as I mentioned, he's not going to be quiet any longer.
Largest lead of the game. Largest deficit that Oregon has faced in the tournament.
This offensive-minded team, the Sooners, is playing pretty good defense. A little bit of defensive sneak. And here you go with the opportunity, the ball movement. They just park themselves at the 3-point line. That's exactly what they do. And here you'll see Cousins come from behind. And forget about Benson's not going to be able to track that down.
Here's Casey Benson. He shoots the ball left-handed, but he does everything else right-handed. He's from Tempe, Arizona. It's like Phil Mickelson.
There you go.
Mickelson does the same.
You know a little bit about that sport, I guess, huh?
I'm going to go to my golf.
Thank you. You're the master.
You know why we all talk that way? Because often there are players right below us, and we've all been caught interfering with their. We're doing
I can't believe you would interfere with those.
Well, not intentionally. There's so many stories about that, including several involving me. Foul on Brooks. Whoa. That's his second.
So you miss the free throw. You think you have position, but you're not getting around Spangler. He's just too strong. Not so much his size, even though he's at 6'8", but just too strong.
There's Spangler, long overhead pass. Latin back outside. Cousins for 3. Everything's going my way.
Oklahoma. Maybe he's getting mad at me, Cousins, for saying he's been quiet in Anaheim. Starting to light it up now, though, in their break.
There's 2 for Oregon. Under 2 to go, first half.
Lon Kruger slowing them down. He wants to make sure they get a good look here. They want to continue to pound it away, not turn the basketball over, but get the shot that they want. There's the lob.
Yeah, an errant lob. Coming up at the half, Greg, Clark, Kenny, and Charles. A first half analysis and a unique preview of Villanova, Kansas. That's coming up 1:41 from now.
Bert, how about the interesting attempt just then by Lon Kruger? He sits back, he tells them all at once as they look at him, slow this down, let's go easy to get a half-court set. What does he do? He tries to throw a first-half knockout punch with a lob to Hield going to the basket. Pretty deceptive on Lon's part just then.
One more. 1:41 to go.
Oklahoma worked against that. They're going to pull it back to half court. They worked yesterday against the 1-2-2 trap. And I know it's not game situation, but Lon Kruger had that thing mapped out very well and where the ball should go.
Here's Hield guarded by Cook.
Hield's going to look for a call with a trip, but I don't know if he tripped or not on the foot.
Turnovers are now even at 8 apiece.
And the Sooners have really been moving the ball very, very well, especially in the interior passing.
Here's Dorsey, guarded by Christian James. That's a freshman and a freshman. Went down, came back out. This is an Oklahoma called timeout. Now, what have they done? They are 8 of 11 from three-point range. Second time in history that 4 ACC teams have landed in the Elite Eight, and all 4 seeds made it to the Elite Eight for the first time since 2009. One of those number 1 seeds is in serious difficulty here, trailing by 15. Cousins, tips Spangler, no. Buddy Hield travels.
Buddy 2 trips down the floor. He's looking for calls. I think he came down. I'm not so sure. I mean, there's traffic, obviously, when you're rebounding like this, but I think it's his own man who causes most of the collision there, and he goes down. So that's a good call. It's a traveling call.
Benson, Cook, Jordan Bell, Benjamin, Dorsey on the floor for Oregon. No, that was a contested 3 and didn't have the muscle to get there.
Oregon only has 14 fouls here, Vern, so they can play aggressively if they get in trouble before a shot is attempted.
20 seconds to go. Cousins, Christian James. Saved it. Buddy Hield.
Plenty of time to get a shot off that. He recognized it.
And there is the shot.
Goodness. My goodness.
My goodness is right.
Sorry to steal your line there, partner.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
I don't have any alternative.
Boy. Sizing people up, isn't he?
Well, he is 46% for the season from 3. He's better today. Let's go to Lon Kruger with Allen.
Coach, let's start with defense. You held a team that scores 80 a game to just 30. How did you do it?
Well, like our transition defense, we didn't give them too many things other than our turnovers. Then in the half court, I thought we had pretty good awareness. So, they're really good. So we got to keep sliding our feet and keep working to help each other.
Your team scored 27 points off of turnovers and offensive rebounds combined. What will you say to them to come out with that same intensity and focus in the second half?
You have to play 20 more minutes better than we played that 20. That's our attitude. That's what it's got to be. Of course, Oregon's really good. They're going to do the same thing. So our guys got to retain their focus and play better.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Allie, thank you. That's the end of the first half. Oklahoma rolling 48-30. We'll send you the AT&T at the half. After this message and a word from your local station.
Coverage of the NCAA men's basketball tournament is sponsored by Pizza Hut, Enterprise Rent-A-Car, AT&T, and by Volkswagen.
We are back in Anaheim, in Oklahoma, facing an Oregon team that is down by 18 points at the break. Earlier tonight, I misspoke when recounting what Duke coach Mike Krzyzewski said to Oregon's Dylan Brooks during postgame handshakes Thursday. Coach K could be saying to Brooks only, quote, "You're too good of a player for that. You're too good of a player." He has since apologized to Oregon coach Dana Altman for that remark and for taking attention away from the Ducks' victory that night. It's my turn to apologize for misstating what our cameras caught at that moment. 48-30 as we get ready for the start of the second half. And the halftime stats presented by Oreos. Mr. Spanarkel.
Well, Vern, I think it's pretty straightforward when you look at those 11 offensive rebounds that Oklahoma has. Ali LaForce mentioned that halfway through, that Dana Altman was pretty annoyed at that. It continued throughout the course of the half. So that's an adjustment for sure that they have to make. Keep Oklahoma off the glass.
Can they?
Yeah, I think they can. I think, Oklahoma is a very good scoring team that we talked about, but Oregon has played well in the second half of games. They come out, they're going to stick around. They don't go away that easily.
Well, It's a formidable mountain they must climb. And three-point shooting led, of course, by Buddy Hield, who was 5 of 6.
And basically what Buddy Hield did, he scored 17 points, and that's all he scored in the first game Thursday night. But look at Hield and what he could do. I mean, the shot clock is shot chart is very impressive. This is where he does most of his damage. And I think you'll continue to see Oregon move him off that three-point strike.
And let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Vernon Jim, Coach Altman was fired up in the half. Before I could even ask a question, he said offensive boards, 15 second chance point opportunities are just unacceptable. We have to win on the glass. That's been one of our strengths all year, and we got dominated in that first half. He also said it didn't help that we missed shots offensively, and I asked if that translated to bad defensive play, and he said we've avoided that in the past, but our energy just was not there in that first half. We have to pick it up.
Here's Woodard, guarded by Benson. Pick and roll with Spangler. Buddy Hield. It's still Cook on him. And there's a miss by Hield.
Right in his face, too, but that doesn't stop Hield from getting his shot off in rhythm, too.
Cook. Again. Foul on Spangler.
One of the things you'll see Oregon do, Vern, is that little weave out front. Oklahoma will switch that like they did that trip and look for Oregon to turn the corner quickly. They're looking for a mismatch there, and Oklahoma does the same thing down their end.
Benson to inbound for the Ducks. Here's Brooks, guarded by Spangler.
They're going to work their way back in. They're going to have to really challenge. We haven't really seen them challenge the rim offensively. Mismatch, watch behind.
Yep, nice dish. Beauty. Boucher off the feed from Elgin Cook.
Latin came over to double team, or appeared to start to double team, and that was a terrific look just then to the interior passing.
Woodard, nice find.
How about Benson stepping in?
Yes. Brooks, Boucher taken away, 3-on-2. Hield for three. No, he decides to drive it. And he is fouled.
So you get the action. There's the post up down low. Now watch, there's where Latin makes the mistake coming across the lane. He really doesn't, he kind of hesitates. He doesn't know which way to go. And you get picked apart underneath the basket if you're not making good, strong decisions defensively.
And that is the third foul on Dylan Brooks, who has been limited to 2 points in this ballgame.
And only 3 shots, too, man.
Cousins, Spangler, Woodard, and Hield. Little floater, beautiful. That quartet starting their 104th consecutive game. Boy, you don't see that kind of maturity in many teams in this day and age.
No, you really don't. So how do you figure? How does Oregon rattle them? I'm not sure if they can rattle them.
Well, that helps.
Sure does.
I don't think the rattle is appropriate, but he did rattle that one home, did Dorsey.
You gotta watch for the lobs. They love to do the high screens and the lob.
Or you got to watch for Buddy Hield driving the basket. Dorsey with a screen. Boucher and one.
Well, that was a terrific catch off the rebound by Boucher. I didn't think he was going to corral it, but look at the position. Shot goes up, and they have guys right underneath the basket. I thought the ball was going to be just a little bit out of his reach. And here comes Buddy right at you defensively. And those seams will open up if they get the Ducks moving defensively.
And that is the third foul on Woodard. Boucher at the line. This is only his 4th year of organized basketball. Born on St. Lucia in the Caribbean, moved with his family to Montreal when he was a very young man, and only picked up this sport 4 years ago. So the 4th year of organized basketball. Back outside, Cousins. Christian James is on for Oklahoma. Wow. Fade away. Yes. That's inside the arc.
You don't see many of them by Buddy Hield. You just can't get better separation on that play. terms of the way he separates from the defensive player. They're trying all sorts of gadgets on him, running double teams at him.
Ball on the floor. Nope. Loose ball tipped out. Dorsey's got it. And he will go to the free throw line. Tuesday in prime time, don't miss James Corden's Carpool Karaoke Special with Adele, Justin Bieber, Jennifer Lopez, and much more. The Late Show Carpool Karaoke Primetime Special. It just sounds funny. Tuesday at 10, 9 Central. Only CBS.
The show is pretty funny, by the way.
Well, appropriate that we have George Schweitzer, one of our senior executives at CBS, who monitors the expression that we all give to our promotional readings.
It was fun to get some time with him before the game, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. James got the weed going now. It's Dorsey on Hield. Little elbow. He got away with it. I don't know if there was really contact, but Dorsey fell back.
Yeah, you know what Buddy Hield does as well as anybody in the country? He gets you moving as a defender. He gets you sliding. There, no ball.
Dorsey didn't get the basket. Here comes Oklahoma.
And then Hield steps away just to complete that thought.
Cousins, Latin.
2 possessions ago, Hield comes down, and watch this separation. See how he gets you going, forces you towards the basket, and here's a different variation of it. Let's see if the right arm comes out. One thing the officials look for, Vern, is that right arm in that situation to push off a guy. Buddy Hield doesn't really do that because he's explosive into his first and second step. Most guys stop after the first, but he's got a second step that comes just as fast after.
That's the 3rd foul on Latin, so he heads to the bench. And a fellow freshman, Jamuni McNeese, is on number 4. Another board. Hield. There are not enough adjectives.
No, and I don't know if there's an answer either yet. We haven't seen it for Oregon as of yet.
Benjamin. Got it.
Here they come, right back at you, though. The beauty of Hield's game is even when you're playing him pretty good defensively, he kind of embarrasses him.
Hield knows where he wants to shoot. Boy, did he scoot to that spot.
Sometimes it's almost like an invisible wall at the 3-point line. Better job by Cook, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. And Bell gets the steal. 15-point margin.
I don't think Lon Kruger's taking Hield out, though, Vern. That's just a guess.
Whoa. Well, Hield and Cousins got tangled. Time has been called. 14:52 to go for the first visit to the Final Four.
Oklahoma up big, but you see Cook right here, Vern. What I think he has to do, there's 2 things. He has to be all the way over here, and I know you're out of position and playing Buddy Hield so he doesn't catch the ball. Now, the problem is you can turn the corner, so you need help defensively, too. So there's a lot of moving parts. But if you're going to let him catch it, 2 things happen with Buddy Hield when he catches the ball. Number 1, he starts to get his mental motor going, like, okay, now I have the ball within range. And number 2, he gets his physical motor going to try to break you down in any sort of way.
Too strong. Christian James tracks it down. You saw the graphic. Buddy Hield 10 of 13. James tries to leave it for Jamuni McNeese, and instead Oregon has it, trailing by 15.
They just haven't been able to get their fast-paced game going like they did against Duke the other night.
And that one's tipped out of bounds. It'll be Oregon ball. Well, Lon Kruger coaching Buddy Hield. That's really Steve Kerr. And the guy on the floor is really Steph Curry.
There you go.
My gosh. Lon Kruger, How about his record? 19-16 in the tournament, 5-3 with Oklahoma. He's taken 5 different teams to the NCAA and won at least 2 games with each of the 5 over the years.
Buddy Hield holding down low.
That's Hield's second. Boucher. Dorsey. Back to Boucher. And now Dorsey has it.
Yeah, I think Oregon's going to have to put an extra guy like Dorsey, one guy back defensively, and go forward to the offensive glass.
Benjamin. There was, flying elbow, and Benjamin got caught.
I think this is just one of those inadvertent ones that the arm swings back, hand swings back, and gets him across the face. It's actually, as James was going after the ball into the corner, it's just a natural move that your arm's going to swing just a touch.
And then the indignity of it all, he gets called for the foul. Benjamin.
I guess I could say more than a touch, too.
Yeah.
Swatted in the face.
Here's James. That's rejected. Spangler gets it back, though. Cousins.
He can handle the ball, too. Watch it.
Oh, you mean like that? Oh, that's what you're talking about.
I'm talking a little bit about that. I'm glad I'm sitting over here. I don't think this chair on wheels would have helped me out there playing defense on it.
Raftery's getting ready for a telecast. He's not watching this. But he would have said, lingerie on the deck. Oh, nice. Good rebound, though.
Bell has to finish that off. They don't get many clean opportunities like that when you're trailing by this much.
Bodies banging.
Here comes an opportunity to
look there. LAU. Oh! Margin is now 15.
That was fairly quick, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's their transition. If they can get the steals or come off the glass, the rebounding defensively hasn't allowed them to get the transition because Oklahoma's on their offensive sets are pretty good.
There's a rare miss by Buddy Hield.
Smart play by the Bucks. So you want to talk about Buddy Hield and his handle. Look at Cousins. Well, that's just a nice shake. One crossover. He can handle the ball very, very well, Cousins can. And then Brooks puts one right on the money for the finishing touch. And by Cook. And they'll take any bucket they can to just chip away at this lead.
Brooks has one more. Now they're going to let Elgin Cook rest. And Kendall Small, 6-foot freshman, is on the floor for Oregon. One of two. Spangler for Oklahoma. And we near 12 minutes remaining in the ballgame. And the first spot in the Final Four in Houston.
There's a mismatch if they get it to him one-on-one on the right side. Here it comes.
Now they got Kendall Small with the shove. 11:45 to go in this one. Stars are out in Anaheim this afternoon. Toby Keith, big Oklahoma fan. Ty Burrell, Modern Family, big. You know that guy, right?
Oh, I sure do.
Yeah, I recognize
Toby.
Aaron Rodgers and Olivia Munn, and then the shyest guy of all.
Hey,
Mr. Dan Fouts.
Beautiful, I love it.
Well, while all of you guys are flying back home on the red eye tonight, Dan and Jerry Fouts and their daughter Shannon are going to join Nancy and me, and we'll understand what's going on with the Oregon Ducks. Who delivered the Buick expectation-shattering performance of the day? Tune in to Inside March Madness, presented by Buick, and find out. What do you and Dan Fouts have in common? What is it?
Oh, we have to put up with Iron Eagle most of the year. Dan was very sympathetic to me.
And let's check in with Allie LaForce.
Vern, despite the commanding lead that Oklahoma has had this entire game, Kruger has not let up on his players in the huddle, really emphasizing defense. He said, we have to stop them from scoring. He said, how do you win ball games? You stop them from scoring. Focus on the rebounding, getting stops, playing fundamental basketball. And for Coach Altman, the message that he keeps preaching to his team is just to keep being us, make the simple plays, and trust our system, and we can make this comeback.
Ellie, I think you're right on it, especially with Lon Kruger, because sitting over here, even though the Ducks have not had consecutive buckets, they haven't been able to get into their rhythm. You know, sooner or later, something has to break for Oregon to get back into this thing and get some rhythm at the offensive end. And I think Lon Kruger, to your point, Allie, is just sitting there saying, you know what, we have a lot of time left, and I don't feel real comfortable yet, even though I have this big lead. Too explosive at this edge of the floor. They haven't been really, the word explosive hasn't come into play all that much. It did against Duke.
Yes. Dorsey over Spangler, and Spangler fouls it. Next Saturday, the Final Four, 6 p.m. on TBS. And the championship game Monday with our colleagues at TBS. Next Saturday, and then the game on Monday. You see Kansas Villanova coming up later this afternoon. Winner of that one awaits the winner of this one. And a clank for Dorsey at the line.
13 of 20 from the line. Oregon was not that good, and neither was Oklahoma from the line. They were both about 50% on Thursday night, but obviously if you're going to try to get back in, the way the Ducks play, going to the basket a lot, they're hoping that they can get fouled, and they have to make those free throws to get this game a little tighter.
Oregon trailed by 18 at the half, so they've only carved 3 off. Here's 24 on 24, Buddy Hield. Pull-up jumper.
A little push off again. Yeah, to get his momentum going, wasn't it?
Dante Buford picked up the foul.
That was one I don't even think he had to push off on, because I don't think anybody was going to get to that ball any quicker than he was. Oklahoma has 18 fouls.
Yes.
So to that point, Vern, might be a free throw shooting contest for the Ducks. Bell at 52%.
Well, the Cats the first. As we mentioned when we came on the air, he's a Long Beach, California native. So a large contingent of the Bell family is here.
Block out, though, knowing the percentages. Nice.
Oh, they're going to get cooked.
Yep. They have the left hand on the back.
Came up over the back and picks up the foul. That is the 16th foul on the Ducks.
Let's see if we can catch the left hand. Yeah, the left hand is holding off Buford on that one.
63-49, 10:39 to go. Spot up 3, Buford.
Keep in mind that Brooks is playing with those 3 fouls too, Vern, so he has to be careful. Oh, boy, look at this.
Yeah, Bell wasn't ready. Hield was.
I can guarantee you one thing, you're not going to get back in a game if you're careless with the basketball out in the open court like that.
Hield with 28 points now.
So you have to know your personnel. Dorsey throws it to Bell just then. Not the right pass. Bell wasn't ready for it because he was going to position him down low. And as you touched on, Vern, Hield ready to roll. He's got 28 points already. 11 for 16 from the floor.
Well, we've talked about this before, but he had a game for the ages back in January when Oklahoma went into Allen Fieldhouse and took on Kansas. 109-106, 3 overtimes, and this young man had 46 points and received a standing ovation from the Kansas fans when he left the court.
He's gone 11 times with 30 or more points, so he's knocking on the door of that number.
I like his chances.
I do too.
Brooks playing with 3 fouls. Woodard playing with 3. There's a pretty good option. Back it goes to Woodard, back to Hield. 10 on the shot clock.
And he knows it too. He just looked up.
They'll drive it this time. Spangler back outside. James for 3. No. And that is not a shot clock violation. It caught the rim.
Cook. There you go. Drive it. There you go.
Yes!
Yeah, they're in the foul situation. The foul problems that Oklahoma has, Vern, you have to think drive, drive, drive. Even if you're Oregon, even if you pick up an occasional charging foul, so be it.
That is almost the first significant amount of noise we've heard from Oregon fans tonight.
See if this veteran team, and they are a veteran team, can answer.
With a rebound.
It'll shift the momentum. This is a huge possession. I know there's plenty of time left. Huge possession.
Boucher in the post. Spin, no. Oklahoma ball. For parents of boys and girls ages 7 to 15, regardless of skill level, drive, chip, and putt registration is open. So visit drivechipandputt.com today and find a local qualifier near you to register. Winners and a parent will advance to the 2017 National Finals out of Western National.
A little setup there. Buford on the baseline, so be careful with him if they get people coming at him.
8 on the shot clock. Woodard out front. 3 on the shot clock. Floater off the glass.
Benson had a chance to get that ball just then, Vern, and he was falling backwards a bit. Ducks get a good set. You see how Benson's falling back just a little bit? That doesn't allow him to get his strength and shoulders into that rebound. And Oklahoma comes away with it.
That's going to put Christian James on the line.
17th foul for Oregon.
Christian James out of Houston Bel Air broke his leg before his senior season at Houston Bel Air. Missed all but 2 games. But been a factor for this Oklahoma team. He misses the first. Oklahoma from the field now has missed 7 of its last 8 shots.
And I think Dana Altman has his guys that are out on the floor. I think they're starting to creep into a belief that they can chip away more so. And that last miss they had under the bucket, he came right out on the floor clapping and applauding to them to say, good effort, don't worry about it, come back and get the next one.
Here's Benson, guarded by Cousins. Cook, double team, and then a dish underneath, and Bell wasn't ready for it.
And they're trying to chip away, the Ducks are, but get some bad bounces, but they really need to continue to challenge like Cook did a couple of minutes ago. That's how they're going to fight their way back.
Well, how about the Buddy Hield day?
Yeah, it is 28 points, has 6 turnovers, but they've been forcing the action on him. But when he's getting his fresh looks and clean looks, Vern, he is just unbelievable in terms of the range he has. Whether it's going to his right, mostly to his left is when he likes to shoot the basketball.
That's pretty good company, isn't it? First player with 100 points and 15 threes made prior to the Final Four since Steph Curry.
Just being in the same sentence with Curry.
Yeah. Hield again.
Little screen up high. There's that switch. Double team.
Boucher. And Boucher, about 30 feet from the basket, picked up the foul. Take a look at the second line. 10 of 20 from three-point range against 4 of 16 for Oregon.
And Oregon shoots that about 35% as a team on the season, so Oklahoma's really finding them.
And then you put Hield on the line, where for the year he's hitting a mild 89%.
We have Woodard on the floor too, Burns, so as this clock starts to disappear, he's another guy who can shoot it at 80% too. So.
Yep. 7:30 to go. Floater, Benson.
How about the switch, as you touched on in the first half, doing a lot of things with his right hand. He went left and shot that one with the floater going to his right.
Cousins, Spangler, Woodard, Hield. Benson gets called for this foul.
There's that floater through the middle, and Benson, I think you touched on. I thought that was an exchange over there. We were blocked out. I couldn't see whether the hands were part of that call or not.
Benson trying to get an explanation.
As you just touched on, you put an 80% free throw shooter to the line.
Yep.
89 and 80, and I like those chances.
So it's back to a 15-point margin with 7 minutes to go. Cook, leading scorer for Oregon in the ballgame, muscles his way in, and Spangler comes out of it with Oklahoma ball.
Nice effort there by Spangler for his 6th rebound. Those are generally the ones that the Ducks have a chance of getting off the offensive glass, because everybody funnels to the middle of the floor.
Kick. Save Cousins. That's going to be offense. Yes, indeed. When Americans get in trouble abroad, this is the team of FBI agents that rescues them. Gary Sinise stars in the new hit drama Criminal Minds Beyond Borders. New episode Wednesday after Criminal Minds, only CBS.
Oregon going with the small lineup right now.
Jordan Bell away from the ball.
I think that's Woodard, number 4.
And that is his 4th.
Yep.
So Christian James doesn't even wait for the coach. He gets up. Latin is also going to come on the floor.
So the importance of free throw shooting. 76% free throw shooter, Cook. Make him 10 for 11 from the floor. Excuse me, from the free throw line.
Right. Buford is out, so is Woodard for Oklahoma.
Cook's the only one in double figures, too, for Oregon. Three in doubles for Oklahoma.
This was competitive through the first 10 minutes of the first half. But then Oklahoma grabbed hold of it. They were up by 18 at the break. Oregon has never led in this game, though they were close for most of those first 10 minutes. Here's Hield again.
Sure that Dana Altman's thinking we need 2 consecutive stops.
5 on the shot clock. Off the glass, no. Bell for the Ducks. Martin is 13 right now.
Yep, and another important possession to make sure you get a good look.
Brooks, he still cans it. No, he can't get it. Made sure he was shooting from 3 and then missed the shot.
Might have been a good time to drive that to the basket. There was a lane there. A guy who hasn't been playing but shooting the ball well with just 3 points, 1 of 4. I think I'd take that to the basket.
5:25 to go. Jumper. The name is Hield. Hield. The first name, by the way, is Shabana.
Okay. You can spell that any way you want, just as long as the ball goes in the basket.
Call me Buddy. He's got 33 points in the game, does Buddy Hield.
Watch how he freezes the guys, too, Vern, when he catches it. Okay, I'm not going to shoot it. Oh, you know what? You're not going to come around that screen. I will shoot it. But he's under control all the time.
Well, he mentioned he thought about entering the NBA draft last year, submitted an appraisal to the committee. They came back with a report that probably he was going to be a second-round draft pick. He said, no, thank you. And now you think 8 to 12, somewhere in there?
I sure do. And I think Lon Kruger would also stamp that he's should be the poster boy for guys coming back to play 4 years, as he said to us the other day. I think the Oklahoma Sooner fans would pretty much agree with that statement.
Yes. From Freeport in the Bahamas. 7 on the shot clock, 4:23 to go in the game. Are you surprised?
I'm getting close to being speechless as well. I know we're supposed to comment on things like this.
Yeah, I know.
Buck's starting to take over, just a touchdown, 2 straight possessions. Here comes a little full court action, try to rattle it. But remember, this is a seasoned veteran team that Oklahoma has, especially in the backcourt. Spangler, they've all played a lot of games, 100 plus. They've started together.
Well, the Oklahoma Sooner fans starting to stand, anticipating a trip to Houston. The football team, of course, the Sooners, were in the playoffs, the Final Four of football. Here's Hield, 5 on the shot clock.
He can shoot it from there.
Yes, he does. No, not this one. Well,
all right.
None of us would have been surprised. At the other end, Dorsey. Casey Benson as it goes up. Buddy Hield. That's 1.
That's pretty.
3.
That's pretty. Well, Dylan Brooks has had some struggles this afternoon after coming back against Duke with 22 points. Nothing going well for him in the first half. Turnovers, just never getting on track until just late in this game. A couple of minutes ago, he put back-to-back buckets in. So the struggle continues. But look at those numbers he had against Duke. Can't get it going this afternoon.
Christian James, Cousins. Pressure applied by Oregon. Woodard back on the floor.
And was pretty comfortable just then against that full court trap. That wasn't even a factor defensively against Oklahoma, their seasoned veterans.
No call. 5 on the shot clock.
Hield not only shoots the ball well, but he draws a lot of traffic and gets to the line a bunch.
Away from the ball, Lon Kruger is having an animated conversation.
He's talking about the point guard play just then. He's feeling that his point guard is being held a little bit as he tries to turn the corner. Only 3 free throws so far for Hield, but when he gets there, he's pretty good.
There you go.
Sorry, buddy.
Cook. Boucher. That's going to be it for Woodard, I think. That's the 5th foul on Jordan Woodard out of Arcadia, Oklahoma. 13 points. Barring a miracle, he's going to get a chance to play another game. Congratulations from Steve Henson, the guard coach. Steve, who played for Kruger, played at Kansas State, not Vermont. And Boucher's at the line, 9.7 rebounds so far.
good decisions in the backcourt without Woodard.
Well, again, they're easily over the timeline. Buford dishes out to Christian James. So you've got Cousins and Hield along with the youngsters.
He's missing a shoe out there, too. It's Dorsey missing his right shoe.
Pull-up jumper. Nope. Tapped outside. And James saves it. Nope, he does not. Boucher. And out of frustration, the foul's going to be called on Elgin Cook. April 7th, we proudly present a tradition unlike any other. And always, there's Augusta National, the Masters, on CBS. Lon Kruger calls his team over. 2:08 to go. Dana Altman. Season's going to end for the Oregon Ducks. 31 wins, a #1 seed. Both records for the Oregon school. Altman in his 6th season. Lon Kruger was among those who recommended him as the head coach at Oregon. Christian James, yes.
Watch the official here.
Yeah.
Right to us.
2 for 2 for the freshman out of Houston. Here's Dorsey. Dorsey, that's for 2 just inside the line. Well, the second half has been a half played without any significant degree of exuberance. When you're up by 18 and you maintain for the most part that lead. We had one little stretch of about a minute and a half when Oregon thought they might make a challenge, but it didn't happen. Brooks. The winner of this one goes to Houston, and they will take on the winner of the next game. We're all looking forward to that. Kansas and Villanova. Villanova, we saw them in Brooklyn last week, the first half against Iowa, maybe as well as any team has played this year.
That first half in particular, when they were really cooking, shooting the basketball well. And Kansas is Kansas.
Brooks has just fouled out. Tough afternoon. And Cousins shoots one more.
It's been an impressive game for Oklahoma, but you know, you had Hield in their offense. They would click it that end of the floor. But I think the way they stopped the Ducks from slashing and driving it to the basket is probably the most impressive part of this. And once again, with Hield being as impressive as we can get offensively.
Benson from the corner. Air ball. Boucher. Stripped. Saved. Yes, it was. They'll bring it back out.
Vern, we've seen 2 different types of Oklahoma teams in the last 2 games. We've seen one that's Buddy going crazy today for 37. In the previous game, he had 17. There was more of a complementary balance to their offense, showing me that they can play good times and bad time when Buddy ball isn't really working.
In and out as the shot clock wound down. At the other end, Dorsey, tipped by Spangler, saved by Oregon, and one. Well, they set a season record of 31 wins. They got a #1 seed for the first time, but they will not be going back to the Final Four for the second time in school history. We mentioned throughout that they won the first NCAA championship, defeating Ohio State after they had knocked off Texas and Oklahoma.
And they are young, though, still. We only have 2 seniors that really play a whole lot with Benjamin and Cook, so they'll be back. But the emotions start to flare up. You realize it's coming to an end.
C.J. Cole is coming on for Oklahoma. Buddy Hield is going off for Oklahoma.
Buddy 8 of 13 from the three-point strike.
20 seconds to go, and they will just kill the clock. This is the 6th game that we've had a West Regional Final in Anaheim. The Pac-12 is now winless for the 6th time.
Amazing.
And the Pac-12 is out of the tournament. Lon Kruger, this will be an emotional handshake with his longtime friend, Dana Altman. Lon Kruger and the Oklahoma Sooners going to the Final Four. First team in. And it was convincing. They exploded in the second half of the first half and were up by 18 at the break. Nice moment. So Jackie Swan, Buddy's mom, came over here January 31st to see her son play. She's not gone back home, and she's not going home now.
I was going to say, I'd stay a while if I were her.
She's headed for Houston.
Promising future for that young man.
Lon Kruger, 63. Dana Altman. Let's hope that golf match in Scotland is still on the agenda. I'd say the chances are excellent that it will be. Buddy Hield.
Nice to see a young man who basically works and works and work at his craft to do well and have big games during the NCAA tournament, big times.